We are your Valorant coaches. Um, nope, wasn't feeling that one. We are Valorant coaches here to help you mentally and physically throughout your process. Once we get
So
past this, it's
we are
gonna be a
Valorant
fucking
coaches.
breeze.
We are here to help you on your journey of climbing the Valorant ranks.
Oh, it's so true, so true. Okay, okay. We are your Valorant coaches. We are here to help you climb your journey on the leaderboard or set your goals and help you achieve them, whatever it may be. We're here to stay for the long run. These fucking episodes will not end. Seriously. Hopefully, they will be consistent.
It's actually
Moving
just a
into our
live
next
stream.
subject. Yeah, maybe we'll just live stream every single one of the videos for an eternity, right? We'll just bust
Maybe we
out
should
like
do that. Just loop it,
episodes,
like
yeah,
one of
1 through
those
50.
ASMR streamers. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
that's a scam. It's a scam.
That's the point.
But
Forever learning.
let's move into our mistakes because those of you who don't know, we had another
So those of
podcast.
you who don't know, we used to have another podcast, and let's just say, yeah,
Let's
that's
just say
it.
if you
That's
go
all
to the
we're
YouTube
saying.
channel, it's ironic. Let's just say if you go to
Let's just
let's
say
just
if
say
you
our last episode was consistency and we haven't posted in 8 months. But I didn't tell you that. It says
we didn't say anything about that.
okay, how coaching affected our relationship with the game. So if you didn't know, we are coaches. It's probably why you're here. Is to get let's start off. Why you're here? You want to get better at Valorant, right? And if you're here
We are fucking
to not play
rusty at
Valorant,
this.
yeah, for real. It's been a while. Bear with us, but this is the most important part. If you are here to get better at Valorant, you are in the right place. Watch these episodes, and I guarantee you will come out with something you did not know before that
Well,
could
if you
further
watch
your
these
gameplay
episodes
and
in
help
the
you rank up.
learning environment,
Right. If you even if it's like there's passive learning, if you watch enough episodes, you might end up knowing something at the end of it, right? And I'm just saying this is the most important part. All you have to know is we are here to help you achieve your desired rank. And we have a lot of experience in coaching. We've been doing it for a while. And we're not just your coaches, we're also your therapists. We help you with a lot of mental stuff as well, mental
except I don't
problems
want
you
to
may
hear about your
have.
fucking problems.
Right. He doesn't.
Just want
I'm
to
willing
solve
to
them.
do it. Just want to. But yeah. So if later on, even if this video is out for the next fucking 8 months and there's not a single comment on it, and you feel like you don't want to comment because we haven't fucking, you don't want to post the first episode about your health, just feel free to comment on the first episode. We don't care. So whoever sees this, you know what I mean.
Or feel free
But
to add us on Discord.
yeah, add us on Discord too. We'll put those in the
It'll be in
links.
the
I don't know.
description.
Maybe we will. Who knows?
I don't know. We
But yeah,
might
the
get
relationship
lazy.
with our game. The league, like, okay, not league. Jeez, man, jeez. Valorant is such a beautiful thing, and you don't know it. And this is gonna sound weird because like, the community is built on a culture that is very toxic and very brutal, and it's very
Off-putting.
like off-putting. And it's very like you're very dangerous because there's a lot of people who are in the low ranks, like gold and silver and platinum, and even bronze, right? So you may be a bronze player. It's like this is extremely dangerous because, like, it's just people like you're gonna get these toxic narratives that you'll have, and I'll explain what toxic narratives are in future videos. But just TLDR, it's basically just extremely uh, bad relationships with the game that could ruin your mental health and your physical health. So it's very dangerous, and it's a very concerning problem that is not enlightened to you yet, that you have not found out. So,
And
but
unfortunately, as informed as we are, as much of we've learned, we still ended up falling into the same trap that most people do, where
right,
we decided that our relationship with the game was not anymore just to improve. It wasn't just I want to play this game, I want to get good at this game. We let it essentially take over our lives, which is a dangerous slippery slope because you could do it in the right ways, but you have to limit yourself and know what most people are comfortable with. It might apply to you, it might not, it might be different, but you have to understand that when you when I take a game seriously, you have to know the implications of that.
Yeah.
And
So
unfortunately, we were fucking rookies with it, and
yeah.
thought we knew better than we did, essentially.
But when faced with a problem, you have to be capable of knowing how to handle the problem. And we wouldn't be where we are today if we didn't know what the fuck we were talking about. So yeah. Accomplishments since hypothetically, which is our old podcast. So what have we been doing for 8 months? For our friends who
Absolutely
will
nothing.
be
We're
watching these
losers.
videos.
Nah.
For our friends who will be watching this video, we so you guys know too, because we are not very active with the people we talk to. We don't talk to them on a daily
Some of you
basis.
guys know some of the accomplishments we've had, but I guess you don't know the full extent of it. You don't know
Right.
the whole the whole the whole 9 yards of
So
what we've been doing.
on the hypothetically podcast, me personally, I'm speaking for me first, and then above will go and say what he's done so far.
You just
But me
explained a
personally,
conversation. Let's go.
uh, that hurt. Me personally, I peaked radiant during the hypothetically podcast, and then I fell off. I got all the way down to plat. So I thought it was over for me because I was washed up. I thought I was bad and horrible. But since then, I've came all the way up to almost immortal 3. I'm top 5,000 on the leaderboard. You can look up my name last hack. But basically it's been a long journey in these 8 months. I have found a new sense of motivation. I wouldn't even call it motivation. I'd call it a new sense of purpose to continue to move forward, and I'm glad that I've done that. But yeah, I think it's a lot of work, or no, it's a lot of things that I've done, and it's hard to say all of them. But I just
You
want
put in
to,
a lot of work.
yeah, I just want to sum it up as I'm fucking back where I'm definitely not in that gutter that I was for so long. I managed to get out. I did it through my own self reflection.
Right.
Somewhat pat on my back for me. That's my accomplishment. So, Bob will go next.
Well, basically, since hypothetically, well, when we started hypothetically, I actually have clips and I have screenshots. I was in the fucking trenches of silver and bronze when we started that podcast, and I was hard stuck silver for like 3 acts. Like I was stuck in silver for 3 acts, like most people end up doing. And we'll get into how you get hard stuck at some other episode, but this one is us personally saying, hello, we're back. And what happened was I was stuck in that rank and I was trying to improve. Then I went to gold, and then in the final act of the episode 3, act 3, I went from gold 2, and then I peaked and hit diamond 1. Almost hit diamond 2, which
So,
was
it's
all
kind of
due
crazy.
to my own work.
It's kind of crazy. It's obviously not thought to be possible because I guarantee you, and there's another highlight of the video. I guarantee you that your rank right now is a reflection of your level of play, and this is true
As
because
much
you
as you
may
don't want to
think
hear
that,
it.
much as you don't want to hear it, that your level of play is reflected by your rank. So you know what I mean. Like even if you think you play good and you think you're the best,
Listen, man,
that's protagonist syndrome.
all we're saying is you're not stuck in gold and silver because you're good. You're stuck in gold and silver because you're fucking garbage. And
Right,
it's
and
okay
the
to be
person who
garbage.
called you,
That's the
the
thing.
person who called you garbage is a man who was stuck in silver for 3 acts. So
And
please,
I
like,
thought
now
I
he's
was
in
good,
diamond.
bro. I'm
Right,
not gonna lie to you guys. I thought I was a good player. I thought I was like, oh, I could hit plat if my teammates weren't holding me back. And then after I went through it and I realized, hey, maybe this is just not true. Maybe I should look at my own gameplay. And that's what VOD reviewing. That'll be also in a later episode. But I went through and I looked at what I was doing. And I recognized that, hey, maybe my aim's good, bro. Maybe I can hit these shots. Maybe I can kill these guys. I could drop 20 kills every game. I could drop 30 kills
right.
every game. But that doesn't mean that I'm not silver. You know? Because it is a team environment. It is a team game. And if you are baiting your teammates and you know what I'm saying? Like, basically, I'm trying to say you're bad at the game if you're stuck in silver and gold. And that's totally fine. If you're okay with being stuck in that rank, then go ahead, be stuck in that rank. I'm not going to judge you. But if you're trying to improve and you think you're better than you are, I'm going to be the first one to tell you you're fucking trash.
In a nice way, obviously. We're not
In a
going to say
nicer
that to
way. Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
it's hard to have a
and it's hard to accept
non-toxic.
that. It's really hard to
I don't know,
accept that.
because the reason why we're so okay. So this is not going to be relatable at all to you guys because you have to be out of the gutter to get into the. You have to be out of the gutter to realize what the gutter was like. Um, because that's pain plus reflection equals progress, which is we're going to say that a lot on this podcast. Pain plus reflection equals progress. So when you lose a game, if you don't reflect on it, then you're never going to seek progress. So how could you rank up if you don't reflect on the game you lost, right? And that's so essential. That's one of the key fundamentals of getting better at Valorant is that that thing right there. So it's like you have to you have to be very articulate, very careful on the things you do and the narratives you choose because a lot of them are going to be toxic. A lot of things that are going to get thrown your way. And one of the narratives that we have that is toxic, even though it's a good thing as well. It motivates us to stay where we're at right now and not go down any further, and it motivates us to actually push for. It's called like PTSD, right? So it's like we have been in your ranks. I'm not even gonna lie. And Above is so emotional. He says you guys are fucking trash just because he was in your ranks before. Keep that in mind. So when he calls you trash, it's with good reason, with good intent. He
It's
says
from
you
someone
guys
who
are
has been
bad.
there. I've been
Exactly.
stuck
So it's
in
like,
those ranks.
and
I know
this
what it's like.
PTSD comes because he doesn't want to see you struggle. He doesn't want to see you be in these ranks and just not like because it's
I
like
don't want to see you fall into
it's
the
like
same
going in a
mistakes that I
past
had.
version of yourself. It's going to a past version of yourself. If you went back in time and you should say put 1,000 like you had $1,000 right, you had it in your pocket and you said hey put $1,000 on black because that's what it's going to be and you put it on the white. If you could go back in time, you would have doubled your money, right? Or you would have told, even would have told yourself at that casino to take out everything that you own and or sell everything that you own and put it all in black because that's what it's going to be, right? And it's in that you would want to do that because like such a high level of like just fear of watching you make the same mistake that you did twice. Because if you were shoot back in time, you would do everything in your power to try to tell yourself not to make this mistake. And obviously we can't
We
change
can't
those things, but
control what you do, but we can definitely influence you to make the decision
make
that
the
we
right
feel is the
decision,
correct decision.
right? Because toxic narratives are nothing healthy. They're not good. There's nothing that good come from toxic narratives. There's things that do come from toxic narratives, but and you have to have a toxic narrative to grow. But it's bad to just stay fixated in a part where you're just consistently blaming other teammates or shitting on yourself
Blaming
for being bad at
outside
the game.
factors and
Right.
not realizing that hey, you don't have to be Heartstruck. You don't have to be Silver.
It's a realization issue, you know. And that right there is just I don't know. We could go into we could go into that in itself, toxic narratives and just doing the right thing for an eternity, and because it's there's just so many, and it's even the real world with the way you talk to people, the way you treat people is a reflection on how people treat you. If you're a very toxic person and you have a fragile ego, one of the defense mechanisms that you may use is to defend yourself. An example would be, and this may reflect with the, or this may reminisce with a lot of people because you grew up playing COD probably, and you know everybody knows you have to defend yourself. You have to have this comeback for somebody who's shit talking you. That's a defense mechanism. Is to when somebody calls you trash, your first initial reaction is to say, "Shut the fuck up. You're dog shit. I'm higher than you on the leaderboard or on the scoreboard." And it's like, what if like you don't look at it from a perspective like obviously his intent is to call you trash, but you don't look at it from a perspective of why does he
Maybe
think I'm
he's
trash? And that
calling you
sounds
trash
crazy.
because there's a reason. Maybe he's calling you
Right.
trash because what you did was the worst play anyone could have thought of, you know? Or maybe he's calling you trash because he wants to be toxic. You'll never know why, but you can ask.
Right.
And if
And you
you
can look at it
ask, you'll learn.
objectively. If you look at it objectively, you'll find your answer. That's the beauty of it. Even if it's like, oh, he's just being an idiot. It's like, just move on. It's fine. But like, but then like yourself, you'll start to question yourself. Like, what? Maybe I'm playing bad. And if you don't think you're playing bad, that's the Dunning Kruger effect. I guarantee you, They're gonna quit this game because you realize how trash you are. If you don't try to fix this problem right now, it's gonna be and the worst part is about the podcast that we're about to start and the series that we're about to create is this is also important because I should have said this in the beginning of the video is there is gonna be a lot of you who are gonna watch this video and it's gonna go in one ear and out the other, and you're not gonna genuinely take this information to the heart. You
Which
won't,
is
and I
another
guarantee
defense
you won't.
mechanism, by the way. That's something
Right,
else that
another
people do.
defense mechanism is not being open to change, just being afraid
Being afraid of
of
criticism, being afraid of being
right.
incorrect, or being afraid of hey, accepting that you could possibly not be as good as you are, or
Or
as
you
good as you
can't, or you
think you are.
accepting
I
that
mean,
you're wrong, you know. But
a
it's
lot of
like
people have that.
uh, a lot of people do. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why you might go one in there and out the other. Another could be your upbringing, right? A lot like you've always ignored your mom and the things she tells you to do because you're arrogant and foolish, and a lot of kids are. It's fine. A lot of teenagers are, and a lot of adults are. Adults do the same thing. Our
It's just a stage
generation,
of life that people end up going through
right?
at some point. Is just being
And
defiant.
the day you realize that the day you realize that um, feedback is important to grow, and multiple minds staying focused on one subject is way better than one mind staying focused on one subject. That's why Congress has 500 people and not one. It's not a monarchy. Um, and that's, you know what I mean? It comes to a more well-rounded conclusion. That's critical thinking. And if you don't have critical thinking in your life, then there's no essential formula for you to grow as a person. So if you are not willing to admit that you're wrong, you can never grow. And it's cliche, as cliche as it sounds, it's true, right? And that's the toxic narrative that you have is this guy's calling me trash. He needs to shut the fuck up. I'm not, right?
Right.
And like just like the same way above is calling a lot of the silver players trash. He doesn't mean it in the ways that you
I
think he
don't mean
means
it
it.
in a you're trash, don't play the game way. I mean it in a you're trash, why don't you get better at the game way? Like if you want to get
Like wake
better,
up.
we can help you get better. Essentially it's a wake up call, but it is also not the 100% correct way to do it because it works for some people and it doesn't work for others. If you're stuck in this gutter and you like think that you're this and that you're as good as this or that you think that you deserve this rank, you're not going to really listen because you're going to think, oh, well, yeah, all these hard-stuck silver players need to listen, but I'm basically plat or I'm basically diamond or I would be like immortal if I wasn't. But you can't think like that because that's not how it works. If you are in a rank, that is the rank that you are. That is just simply how it works. I mean, yeah, you could be like some people. Like we know this guy Sugi who plays the game like two days. Like he'll play like 2 games every like couple days, right? And he's like platinum or whatever. But he's like really really good. Like he could be like immortal or diamond if he really put in the time. And like that's someone that we wouldn't consider hardstuck though. But he hasn't put in many games, so that's different than someone who is stuck in their rank. If you've put in over 20 games in the same rank, like if you're silver 1 and you put in 20 games and you're still silver 1, that's what you are. You're just silver 1.
Yeah, you silver one. All right, so I'd say 15 plus games is to determine what rank you're in or what rank you get stuck in. Because everybody's gonna get stuck in a rank. Your climb's not gonna look like a fucking steady increase.
Your climb isn't
Or
going
a
to look
steady
like other
slope
people's
upward.
climb either. Like some people
True.
are completely hard stuck in platinum. I breezed through that. Rank. I think it took me like a total of a month to get through platinum. I'm not kidding.
Right.
Like I was platinum 1 and then I hit diamond in like 3 weeks. I don't know if I have screenshots, but I have it documented.
And that's another toxic narrative. Is comparing ourselves to others. We do it a lot. We
you
do it
can't
with
you
pretty
can't
much
compare
everything.
your struggle to other people's struggle because you don't know what goes on for them, right?
Right.
Like maybe there's
And
something about hitting diamond that I just had and other people don't that are stuck in platinum, right? And it's just hard. It's hard to
accept that. I'd say.
accept that some people are gifted in certain ways and some people are gifted in other ways, and that some
You'll probably
people's
gift it in
climb,
other ways that may other people want. You know what I mean? Like
right,
so
like
you
maybe
might be
you'll
in
go
silver
from
right
diamond
now,
to
or you might be
immortal.
in bronze. Right, right. You might be silver or bronze right now. But you might excel in platinum and diamond, and you may hit immortal so fast if you finally got out of the hole of silver and gold, right?
Right, if you
And
finally started to accept on how to learn.
instead of just blaming other people or using defense mechanisms or protecting your ego, right?
It is an
There's just so
extremely
many
difficult
ways.
thing. And we're going to say this a lot, but that is the hardest part.
It's
Because
the mental.
for so long, you're stuck in this stage of denial where you think, like, you perform maybe 2 or 3 games in a row, right? And you're like, damn, I'm so good at this game. How are my teammates just trolling my games here, right? But it's not like that. Like, you can't think like that, because unless you're match MVPing, 40 plus kills a game every single game, and you're duo queuing and like you're doing everything you possibly can to win yourself the game, then it is still your fault. Like, unless you're doing everything in the world.
And that can't be determined if not had coaches, or if not need be coaches. So that's
Right.
where we come into play. We're capable of determining
That's
there's
where
going to
we
be
can
another.
say, oh, hey, maybe this was the misplay, or maybe this is, because
Yeah.
it is hard. And the worst part is when you're improving, when you're getting better at the game, when you start realizing and you start reflecting on yourself and your gameplay, you'll realize at some point that there's specific rounds or specific plays that lost you rounds or the whole game in general, and that's an extremely difficult thing to cope with. It doesn't matter how many kills you have. It doesn't matter if you have 45 kills. If you throw this one round, then that means you could lose the game, right? So it doesn't matter what you're doing if you're playing in the wrong way. And it's very difficult to accept that there's different ways to get better. Like, you don't necessarily have to be match MVPing every single game to climb. The win is more important than your KDA.
Right. And your KDA doesn't reflect, um, how would I say it?
Doesn't
Your
reflect
progress.
your skill either.
Right. KDA
Like,
doesn't
yeah, you could
reflect your
kill all
skill.
these silver twos, but if you're, if you're placed in a gold lobby, then what? Now you're bottom frag, right? You don't know.
Yeah. Like Shazam always says it. If you've ever seen a clip of Shazam saying it, people always bag on Zoms for being one of the worst players in Sentinels. Because you go and you look at his KDA, it's your initial reaction because it's the environment you're placed in. You're like, oh, Zoms' fucking KDA is trash. Like this guy's got to be the get him out. Like let's get a different controller. But you don't realize like Zoms is
Zoms
one of
is
the anchors for
literally
the
doing
team.
everything for the team
Right.
in like specific situations. Like, that
Like
guy will
I
lock the
guarantee
site down.
you, in NA, there's not a better controller than Zoms. There's no. Right.
100%.
Like I can't name a better Viper than Zoms in NA than Zoms' Viper. I can't name a better Astra than Zoms' Astra. Like Zoms made the Astra meta. That be like not from
That's
EU
just
stemmed the
true.
Astra meta. Zoms made the Astra meta. Like that.
Zom's
Like
Astra is probably one of the best Astras in the world. And it's just because he's so good at knowing how to play that character. And because he is the support. Like, he is the person who will say, all right, you guys can go rotate. I'm staying on this site, and they will not get on the site. They are not going to surpass me, He's comfortable doing that because he's so good at it. But it doesn't matter how many kills he has, because the kills, like, are not the point. The point is of what he's controlling, and we could go on for hours about it, but the point is, you can't look at a scoreboard and say, this is how good I am.
don't jump to conclusions. You got to be extremely articulate. Be very delicate.
And you have to put
with the
yourself in an
process.
objective position. You have to say,
Absolutely.
was this a good play? Like, if this wasn't you looking at your gameplay and it was someone else's gameplay, if you looked at that VOD and you said, oh, that play was fucking stupid.
Yeah, they would have a
it was
totally
like,
different view. You got to think about
you would
that.
have a different view if it wasn't you,
Is somebody if you asked your friend, hey, can you VOD review this with me, which is a very good tool to use, and I recommend this is where something I'm going to emphasize in episode 2 so much, is you have to VOD review. It's essential Like some of the best players in the world, they VOD reviewed. Like no, every best player in the world VOD reviews. It
Everyone
is no
passed
joke. Like
immortal. Everyone passed immortal VOD reviews. Like
100%.
I swear to God, there's not a single immortal player that doesn't hit a VOD. You know,
Right. Or hasn't done it in the past.
right? I would say most diamonds and high platinums also do the same thing. They'll hit the VOD.
They've done it before. Right.
And maybe that's the
But it's like
difference between the silvers and the platinums. You know, maybe it's not
right.
the aim. Maybe it's not the mechanics. Maybe it's not the comms. You know, maybe it's just I've hit this VOD, so I know how to play this situation. You never know.
And that's a part of reflection too.
And you
And
also, it's extremely difficult when you're hitting the VOD to be open to criticism, because unless you're putting yourself in the environment to be criticized, like willingly, you're not really going to be open to criticism. You're going to be like, oh, well, why is he calling my play bad? That's stupid. He's bad. I'm better than him. I was higher on the leaderboard, you know? So you have to realize that if you're going to go into a VOD, you have to be in that
part
learning
of a
environment.
yeah, part of improvement is putting aside your ego. It's called mastery.
Right.
Essentially means you're willing to. It's defined by different definitions. I call it mastery, but it's an essential tool in life that any successor or a successful person has. And it means what mastery means, at least to me, and what I think it means to everybody else is because, like I said, it's described in different ways. Is like I give the example all the time. One of my best advice that I can give to you right now that I recommend you should put in the back of your brain or put in the front of your brain and move forward along with the first episode is do not quit on something that you care about, because that right there is the beauty of it. Because like mastery, imagine this, right? So imagine if you play the guitar, and it's going to reminisce with different people in different ways because everybody likes to do different things. So imagine you like drawing a lot, and you really really love drawing, or you really really love guitar, and you get decent at it, right? You get somewhat good at it, right? And you can play all these riffs, you can draw these portraits, you know what I mean, better than a somebody who doesn't know how to draw, or somebody who's an average draw. You get pretty decent, but you quit because you are faced with a challenge now that seems too hard to overcome, so you give up. And that right there is becomes a habit. And that's one of the most dangerous habits that you can have, is quitting on something before you could have developed a new mastery. Because it's only when you overcome the wall is when you fully learned how to jump over that wall. So it's like, say it's like it's a mountain. You're climbing the mountain. You realize that there's these ropes on the mountains that you've never seen before. You go and you swing the ropes and you jump over the bridges, and you skip the rocks, and you swim over the river, and you learn all these tools to get over this mountain. And once you learn that, you'll never forget it, right? And if you didn't learn it, then you'll go back, and it makes sense. It makes sense. You could actually go back from trying to learn, right? And that's a different story for a different time. But it's like, don't quit. Don't If you care about something, don't quit on it. Because like I said, once you build that mastery, you're never gonna forget it. So like even if you build this new level of mastery, you think you've taken the guitar as much as you possibly can. It's like, and if you're satisfied with the way you've learned, and like your main goal was to be capable of playing by ear, and you set that goal for yourself in the very beginning, um take that, and you set down that guitar finally. When you go and you pick up another instrument, it's almost gonna be too easy, because you've learned all these skills. You know how hard it is to climb over the wall, and you're willing to get pushed past that. That's
And
why
because
Michael
you've done
Jordan,
it
who's an
before,
NBA
you know
player.
how to do it again.
Exactly. Like Michael Jordan, the NBA player, can go. I don't know if you know this, but when he was in his when he won his when like he took a break from the NBA to go play baseball, and guess what? He's in the MLB, and he was actually pretty decent. He wasn't even that bad. He actually joined the MLB. That's crazy, right? And it's this person who has such a high level of being capable of facing challenges is the result of him being able to go into a different sport and do it with such ease, is because he's done the things that nobody else is willing to do. So my advice to you, and this is probably the only thing that I might want you to take away from the first episode, is to just don't quit. You can't quit on something that you love to do, because once you quit, you've never truly felt what it meant to set a goal for yourself and achieve it. Like just like above with being stuck in silver, he told himself, "I will hit diamond. I will hit diamond." And even before that, he said he hit it immortal. And guess what? He's only 3 ranks away, or it's not counting diamond one. He's only 2 ranks away. That's insane. 2 ranks. Like when he was silver, this was such a long time ago. He was deep in silver, stuck in silver for axe on axe, and he just didn't give up. He didn't give up on the goals that he set for himself, and he achieved it. And I guarantee you, above can go into a different game and reach that same level of, so say diamond is the same rank as diamond in Valor or for Overwatch, and he can go into Overwatch, and I guarantee you he get a diamond because he knows what it takes to get there. That's the point. That's the
And
point. It's
something
not.
else
That's why.
to bring up with that is like you don't really understand that when you're like most people who it doesn't matter like how good you are, you don't really see improvement. So when you think like, for example, when I was silver, when I play the game, I still feel like I'm the same player. I haven't noticed any changes. Like, yeah, I guess I'll hit some nicer shots or whatever, but I don't actually see a difference in my gameplay. The players are still the same players to me because you don't see the improvement. The only actual way to see the improvement is in the VOD or, you know, that little rank icon. If that goes up, you've gotten better. If it goes down, you've gotten worse. You know, it's just simply how it works.
Right. And it's a lot of people do care about the ranks too much, I would say. Your rank, and when you're close to the promos, you care a lot about winning and losing. And this is good and bad because if you care a lot about the game, that means you're willing to put a lot in to get good at the game. And that to us is a great student.
Exciting.
Someone who's willing to put in a lot of work. It's very exciting to us because we can learn from it. And that's all we're here to do. We're just here to learn. A lot. Because one of the best ways you can learn more about yourself is by coaching somebody else. No, I didn't steal that from Kung Fu Panda, but
Well, he did, but he didn't.
no, I didn't. But yeah, so this is gonna be a short episode. We will do longer episodes, but the last thing that we're gonna touch on is what is our goals? Our goals to move forward. What do we want from you, and what do we want from ourselves, and where do we want to be a year from now with the podcast? This podcast.
Or what do we want to accomplish in general? Like, what is a long-term goal that we have set? You know?
Right.
And personally, something I want to do is obviously I want to hit Immortal, but more than just that, I want to have streamed the whole thing. Because to me, that is more important. If I was able to do it on stream, that is like amazing to me. That I was able to not only just hit the rank, but I did it by myself on stream, and there's documented proof of where I was at this point in time, how good I was at this point in time, you know? So that's my main goal, is to stream and hit Immortal while I'm streaming.
100%. My goal, I have a lot. I'm gonna let you guys know I have a lot, but the two main goals is to go professional because it's my life. It's been my life for a long time. But and then my second goal is to just spread my wisdom, and that's why I started coaching in the first place. I just want to let somebody because I will forever and always jump in front of a bullet for my beliefs because it's the truth. I think about it like this. So if you're say, because this is one of the best analogies I can give that may reminisce with a lot of people and may touch home with a lot of people. Um, Tyler One, he talks about, he said this, and it really like shed some light on what I actually believe in. He was talking about how imagine if you had a friend, right, and he was depressed, he was done with life, and he was going to kill himself. And if you tried to help him, that he would hate you for the rest of his life. But let's think about this for a second. If I hate him, if I help him, and he gets this help, and he hates me for the rest of his life, but he's still here. No matter like that's the craziest part is he's still here today. He can hate me, like that's what I believe in. He can hate me for as long as he wants, But at least if he's still here, I don't care. Right?
I'd rather him hate me when he's alive than love me dead.
exactly. And dude, like that right there is like I'm not gonna sit there and just have somebody live in this false fantasized world because they think they're happy. I'm gonna say, hey, like this is not right. You're gonna like toxic relationships or toxic friendships or bad relationships with your goals or bad relationships with life. I'm gonna say something. I just have to. It's like it's itching, it's crawling, it's inside of me to just let me. Even if your struggle, I know nothing about your struggle. Let me help you. Let me try to help you. I want to find a way. I want
He's
to solve the
basically an
problem.
addict.
Yeah, I'm an addict to helping people, I guess you could say. So I'm an addict to helping people. But it's like that's my main goal is just spread my wisdom. Help people who can't help themselves truly and dearly. That's what I believe. Yeah, you could say, Gabe, why don't you be a what is it, a therapist?
A fireman,
Fireman,
or a
yeah,
doctor,
anything. Or somebody who does actually help people and actually saves lives. It's like, well, if you do the math, somebody who does a self-help video will save millions of lives than somebody who's a therapist to save a few with his, because you know what I mean.
Well,
It's like to me personally, I think it's
if
I think
I
it's
if
more
I impact someone's life enough to the point where they want to impact other people's lives, I have now done a better service.
true, very true. If
At
I've saved
least
somebody's life
that's
and
how
they
it
want to
feels
become a
to me.
firefighter, right? That's true. Um, that's what I believe in. So those are the goals. So our goals for you are to take this first
Realize what you
video.
want as well.
True, very true. Realize what you want to do. Make sure what you're doing it at the best you can. You're trying your very hardest. You're not giving up and you're not lazy about it. But what we want from you guys is to just take something, whatever it may be in the video, and just go and reflect or just go and try doing whatever it is we say, or really think about what you want, what your goals are. Really think about how you think. Is it bad? Is it bad for you? Is it toxic? Is it not friendly? Is it dangerous to think in that way? You know what I mean? But yeah, this has been a cock in your ears for about, I don't know, maybe over 45 minutes or 30 minutes. Who knows?
And obviously, we know this podcast was a little bit all over the place, this episode, but bear with us. This
100%.
is episode 1, so, it's not like we've done this before, so we wouldn't know how to do a podcast.
No, we've never done this in our lives.
Never.
Yeah, quote of the day. Let me look it up. What's the quote of the day? The quota of the day is, oh yeah, I mean, we did say pain plus reflection equals progress, but I want to say, this is a Buddhism quote. I summarized it down for you, so it's a little bit easier. So if you think it's too late to start, don't give up hope, because it's never too late. It's never too late to do the right thing. That's not the quote. That is cliche though. I just wanted to say that. But it says the quote
you can
is,
apply that
I
to a
know
lot
this
of
down,
things, but we
and
can
it's
expand upon that.
seek redemption through progress. So, oh no, let me explain that to you. Oh no, I failed. Instead of groveling in your failure, get up and do it again. And that's how you get your redemption. Is if you work out, and you say you're overweight, you work out, and you stop working out and you're fat and you start eating again. Don't just give up there. It's
And
like get that
I'm sure you
redemption.
guys have heard
Redeem
this
yourself.
a million times before. You've heard the same thing a million times. Don't give up hope. Keep going, right? Hang in there. Like, I know how it sounds,
Kitty poster.
but
Kitty poster.
realistically, it is actually the truth. And I know it's like, wow, like, I know a lot of people are going to tune that out and think, oh, well, I've heard that 100 million times, it means nothing. But coming from us, it should mean more. Coming from people who have been in your position, who have been down in the fucking
people who
gutter.
have been the drug addicts, been the overweight, been the fat losers, been the people who are not confident in themselves,
been the people with
nothings.
no goals, been the people with
I
nothing.
tried to commit suicide. I'm I'm not even gonna lie. the people who have been at the lowest of the low. So
We have
you're not
been
fucking
in
alone. if you think we're just-
positions possibly lower than other people, and we've been in these horrible situations, and we understand what it takes to get out of there. We understand, because we've done it, what it would take for us to do it again. And that's why you should listen to us. That's why you should have ACOC in your life, is because we know better than you.
Oh, shot! You managed to squeeze that in there. Oh man, I love a cock. Wait a minute.
Wait. Hold on. Also, if you made it this far, ACOC, it means a couple of coaches, if you were confused.
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
Explanation. That
So,
it's in the banner. It's in the banner.
It's in the banner.
ACOC
but
needs a couple of coaches. Just letting you know.
Just letting you
We're,
guys
we're
know.
not changing
We're
the name.
not.
if
We're
you
not
think
just
we can change
fucking
it.
around here. We're not changing that either. That's the best name that we've ever come up with. And yes, we came up with it. I
100%.
copyrighted it. 100%. We came up with it. No one else can tell me otherwise.
Right, Moonslides. I mean,
Who?
us.
Who's that guy?
Who
Yeah,
the
we came
fuck
up
is
with
that?
Who the
But yeah,
fuck? All right.
this is the first episode of a long series. We're probably gonna do this till we're
This is
till we're
just
dead.
the start.
Till we're dead, probably.
Yeah, we're gonna be in our nursing home, and we're gonna be spouting off nonsense, and you motherfuckers will be listening.
All right. Imagine that.
I can't wait.
Like Joe Rogan's on
I
episode
can't
what now? Like he's
wait.
on episode. Yeah, Joe Rogan's on
All right,
episode.
bro. We gotta
fucking-
we gotta
Yeah, we
end
gotta
this
close it.
fucking
Yeah,
video, bro.
yeah. Wait. Just to let you guys know, Joe Rogan's on episode 1,764. So I don't know if you know this, but
He
we're
smoked
our
weed
main goal.
1,764 times.
Right. So our main goal is to beat Joe Rogan. So help us out. You know what I mean? Leave
We're
a like.
gonna
drop a
film
comment.
100 episodes a day until then. That'd be crazy.
100%.
We're not doing that.
We're not doing that. It'd be insane. But if you
Okay,
guys
well,
enjoyed,
thank you for listening.
link to the description to add us on Discord. Go shoot us a message if you want. If you're listening to this in the future, our Discord, hopefully they won't change because sometimes they do automatically. We'll update them. Who fucking knows? But if
I
even
won't
if it's
update
like
shit.
8 months later, still shoot me a message. I swear to God, I'm a loser. I go on my PC every day. Just shoot me a message.
We
Even
sit
if
on
you're reading-
here
watching
for
this
like
8 months
16
later.
hours a day, bro. Just hit us up, you know? Just hit us up.
All right. Quote of the day: seek redemption through progress. This has been ACOC in your ears, and we're out.